is game number 3 of the NBA Finals between the Knicks, who lead the San Antonio Spurs 2-0 in this series. Kevin Walsh, Gabe Morency. Gabe, I think we've got a good one on our hands tonight.
I got to tell you what, there's like a Super Bowl feel about this game tonight, a World Cup final feel to this game, and a Barnum and Bailey's feel to this game tonight. It's a all-out circus, and it already would have been 53 years in the making, up 2-0, back home, tickets going for tens of thousands of dollars, and now you throw in the circus of getting in the arena. And although this is a big story, and I'm seeing right now, to be honest with you, the arena looks pretty full, right? So, any concerns about people not getting in, but whatever. So big deal. Pete Davidson got in on time. Good for him, right? They just show like Pete, so the celebrities are there and have taken over the building. But to me, Kevin, the big story isn't who's going to the game and the circumstances around it. It's the point spread, Kevin. It's the point spread. Like it's, to me, is one of the most insane point spreads and line moves in my sports betting lifetime. And I've been doing this a long time. We're talking about a team that hasn't lost since April the 23rd. They've won 13 straight games. They just won both games on the road. And the odds makers make the number 2.5, and the market is hammering the San Antonio Spurs right now. Every large bet that has come in has been on the San Antonio Spurs tonight. The odds makers, Kevin, are just inviting you. They're inviting you. They're leaving the door open. They're saying, hey, listen, the Knicks have won 13 in a row. We're giving you them as a pick 'em on their home floor tonight. Wow.
Yeah,
I got to tell you, wow.
I don't know. For me, Gabe, and this is where sometimes I'm a little self-aware enough to know I could be annoying about it, but game 2 is 6.5. Home court advantage is worth what? 4 points is a lot. That would get us to Knicks minus 2.5. And again, most people in a basketball game would not tell you home court is worth 4. Now,
not in today's day and age, you're right.
No. Now, adjusting the power rate, but Gabe, that's why it's funny, and I think we talked about this. I told people I almost didn't care about the game 2 number again until it got to 7, and then I had no choice, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was like, are they going to make the Knicks dogs at home? And basically the books are like, we can't do it, but we also can't change the number 12 points game
of
to
their
game.
Power rankings. Yes, I understand that. But at what point maybe their power rankings are wrong? God forbid, right? I mean, at some point.
Gabe, it turns out if they would have gone to 3, they just would have took more Spurs bets, right? Like, in a way, they're like, okay, we're going to make the Knicks favorites. And people were like, thank you, Spurs plus 120, Spurs plus 115, Spurs plus 110.
Because if they came out with Knicks minus 5.5, everyone's just going to hammer the Spurs.
There wouldn't be a sold on it.
But they can win. Like, they can win the bet. That's my whole point. Like, I'm talking about the books could clean up again. But it's fascinating to me that a team as public as the New York Knicks are as well, Kevin, and as big as they are, that it hasn't moved the number. Right? That it really hasn't. That, like, they're not willing to move off their original power rankings here. And we should know, Wemby hits the shot, they win the game.
Yeah.
Right? Game 1, 99-97, 38 seconds left, whatever. Like, the Knicks aren't, like, drilling them, but it feels like the victories are more convincing than the margin of victory to me, Kevin.
Well, it's also, Gabe, that both of the games were in San Antonio, right? Like, at the end and it's also, Gabe, they're up 2-0. Like, you mentioned after the game 1, you're like, oh, people are just handing the trophy to the Knicks. Guys, let's be very clear. Being down 2-0 when you had home court, historically, just as bad as being down 3-0. There's no difference. So, again, yet, the Knicks are actually, in some degree, Gabe, only minus 500 to win this series, right? Like, the Spurs are still being given a fighter's chance in this series.
I've noticed it went from, and let's be real, the media is so New York biased. Right? So it's not like the San Antonio is going to get a fair shake in this. But it went from after game one, the Knicks are winning the title, give them the title. Tonight, I do feel there is that trepidation with the Knicks fans and in Knicks media world. That what you and I talk about, things can change in a hurry, Kevin, in the playoffs. And if you're a Knicks fan, you think about the negatives, right? Like if you're a real guy like Paul Bovey that's been around forever, and you know what I mean, it's seen it. Leaf fans, Bill fans, it's inherent in us. Yeah, what's going to go wrong, right? You know, Trump shows up, circus outside, the Trump curse, they lose this game, suddenly it's 2-1. Boom, they lose again. Like, things snowball fast. Like the New York media, as quickly as they were booking the parade route before, they'll be freaking out in the morning, man, on every show if they don't win this game tonight.
You know what is interesting, Gabe? I do think if the Spurs win this game, the Knicks haven't lost in a while, right? Like, how do they handle that?
April 23rd.
Will be the question. That will be the question. Now, right now, if people are asking me, what do I think happens? I think the Spurs win tonight. I think people panic for a day, and then on Friday night, they just win. They just win. Or Wednesday night. Wednesday night. I'm way ahead. All right, I'm ready for the World Cup. But like on Wednesday night, they just win, and it's 3-1, and that's all there is.
But this thing's going back to San Antonio. Yeah, this thing's going back to San Antonio. I don't believe there's a sweep coming.
But Gabe,
they better win tonight. If they're down 3-0, then the Spurs might tap out. Yeah.
If the Knicks win tonight, especially if it's by 10 or so, well, game 4, the number is going to be 5. It is going to be 5.
The Knicks to sweep before the series, guys, was plus 1,600. It's plus 150 now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it changes quickly. I know someone who bet the exact
big time game
4-1, result, who's not like super familiar with betting, who was like, well, what was the sweep price? I was like, it paid out more. Like, are you serious? Why did I bet in 5? I'm like, I don't, what do you mean? You have a good number. Just root in the 5. Just root in the Knicks in 5. Like you're holding a 12-1 ticket on in 5. Well, Gabe, we haven't talked any total yet. And I got to here's all I know. If you watch In-Game Live regularly, when both Gabe and I, heading into game 2, go, something doesn't feel right about this total, that, boo, 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 alert, alert, alert. Like, I wasn't surprised to see that under come in, Gabe, in game number 2.
And this feels, I'm not betting the over, and you guys know I love to bet overs in basketball, but maybe we'll wait for an opportunity, but you got to believe at some point. I mean, this is basically a game 7. I mean, let's call it out for what it is. The San Antonio, and I kind of, they can say the right things, but of all people, Dylan Harper, right? I mean, he's a kid, but he doesn't play like one, and he's already been their best player, right? And he basically said, like, no, we're not. He goes, we're not panicked, but he goes, we understand that we need to play with an urgency, like all for like from the first like play of the game. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's taken them a little while to sort of get this intensity level type thing. It's only 2 games. The series isn't over yet. And it's not ideal that they're on the road, but do the Spurs have it in them? Does the pressure get to the Knicks at home tonight too? Does the pressure finally get to them at home tonight?
I don't think
it hasn't before. They seem to embrace it.
Yeah,
unlike the Canadians, that oh my God, we're 2-6. It's all we. You know what I mean? The Knicks seem to embrace this.
Yeah, and the Garden will be loud. I think if people are there. All right, in-game live on a Monday night, Knicks Spurs. So let's start to put some of this on the board here. And I, again, clearly like at least the big bettors think that this is a Spurs spot. However, I actually have respect for the Knicks. And I am not all too interested in fading this war machine who have now won 13 straight games. So I think the best way to play it is the Spurs team total over. If you want to just take the over, I totally understand that. But this to me is about a Spurs offense that has not been able to get going from beyond the arc, that has, I think, a ready-to-go megastar in Victor Wembanyama, and it allows me to back the Spurs who I really like in the spot and not bring a Knicks team in who may not be able to hit the offensive ceilings with Victor Wembanyama being on the floor required for me to feel great about the full game total. 107.5 is not too big of an ask. It is a number they cleared, and I believe all but one of the 7 games against the Thunder. I know this Knicks team is playing out of this world. They are not better defensively than the Thunder. Give me the Spurs team total, Gabe. We'll get to the props, but it's my favorite bet in this game overall tonight.
I like where you're going with it. I like the aspect that you could win that bet and they could still lose the game as well.
Yep.
And I'm sort of looking at ways to approach it in a similar situation. I looked at it from the Spurs in the first quarter perspective. Mm-hmm. That these guys come out like their life is like, seriously, this is it for Wemby. You know what I mean? It's been 2 games in a row. You're turning the ball over. You're missing game-winning shots. This is your opportunity to sort of set the table and like drop 16 in the first quarter, Kevin. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't hold back. Don't worry about your teammates. Tell them, give me the ball, get out of my way. And start dunking on people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, boom, well, bam. Like, just like, and just say, all right, and get Cat in foul trouble early. Attack him, right? Attack Cat. That's how you can sort of get him, get him off the floor when they went on that big run. The other night we saw that. They are capable, San Antonio. Maybe being on the road will loosen them up a little bit. But the way I looked at it is like, all right, San Antonio in the first quarter. I'm getting them plus half a point in the first quarter. That they show up early here, but I do like your team total look, and I didn't post Wembanyama here on our picks, but I'm going to play him, and this is, he's going to die on his sword tonight. Like, he keeps going over his prop and his number, even though he's still not winning a game for them. So I think 26.5 tonight, more than manageable for Wemby. I know you're going to try to attack it from a 30-point perspective, but I do like your first 2 plays that I see here.
Yeah, so to the Wemby point, Gabe, I couldn't agree more. I think this is the Wembanyama spot. And because, to be clear, guys, I usually just take, hey, 26.5, 27.5, like I'll play the straight number and not get overly greedy. But my best bet's the team total. So I am starting at that 30-point marker for Victor Wembanyama, which was at a plus 140. I, though, am playing 35 and 40 for Victor Wembanyama tonight. I think he is going to have one mega scoring game before we get out of this series. And by the way, he scored 22 second half points in game 2. Now, I know this isn't how sports work, but that does put him on pace for 44 over a full game. I think he scores 30 tonight. I think he comes out super aggressive early. It's why, Gabe, I think your first quarter pick makes a lot of sense here, because I think Wemby establishes it very, very early on in this basketball game. The other guy I'm keyed in on, and I notice he's on your card as well, is Stephon Castle. I think of the Spurs point guard trio, he's been the most disappointing in this series. Yet to shoot 50% from the floor. The turnovers have been manageable, but not racking up the assists. One good rebounding game, one struggling rebounding game. So I couldn't decide if I wanted the points, rebounds, and assists or the rebounds and assists. Laid them both. 27.5 PRA, 11.5 RA. If you said, hey, pick one, I would pick the rebounds and assists. He's missed that in 2 straight. Last time he missed it in 3 straight was February. So I like Castle here tonight, Gabe. And look, you can see it on my card. It's only the Spurs logo. That is how I am approaching the game here tonight, despite it being in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, if you remember, I talked about Castle in game one, Kevin, and it wasn't really a storyline too much. It was more De'Aaron Fox and Wemby. And I said he was just off. Like, he was forcing things. He was short. He was long. Like, you could tell he was getting frustrated with his shot. And, he wasn't much better in game two, as you stated.
Yeah.
Right? And it was a little disappointing because he started off strong. He was racking up the rebounds because I've been betting his rebound prop over 4.5, and I'm doing it again tonight. I think he is going to be super aggressive on the glass early. And Harper's another one that's interesting, guys, because the more he play, they've got to keep him on the court, Kevin. They got to keep him on the court. And, it just might be me, but like I said, you got Harper played at Rutgers. You've got Castle who played at UConn. He's played at MSG a million times. I feel like they're going to be comfortable, Kevin. You know what I mean? I feel like they're going to be comfortable. Like, Castle's walking through the tunnel. It ain't his, like, oh, my God, it's MSG. He's like, yeah, didn't I win the Big East title here? Mm-hmm. I was an MVP here, wasn't I? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been here. Harper, like, same thing. He's been here and almost going to be like, yeah, I'm back home, man. This is it. Let's rock. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's rock. Yeah, like, there's that different vibe. Like, I can see Castle and Harper both playing well tonight and thriving off of MSG, actually.
Yeah, Gabe, I completely agree with that angle.
Like, you know what I mean, Ken? Like, if you played in the Big West or something, you never been MSG in your life or just once, or like, you know what I mean? These guys have been there. Like, he's played their Castle like a million times. It's like, it's different.
You said it about Castle in the early in game one. He's not scared. He's just struggling. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, he's not nervous. He's not exactly. It's just not falling for him.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very happy with taking the UConn kid in Madison Square Garden. I think Dylan Harper, I mean, he's clearly not nervous, right? That may come a little bit from, the NBA father, whatever it might be. So, no, I think that those Spurs guys all really line up here for big performances. I know we're going to hit the break.
If you're into this, Kevin, they're getting Johnson's getting very emotional. The Spurs are like a very emotional tunnel right now. Oh.
I do have an in the building source who is telling me it is full in Madison Square Garden. That's what my
Well, don't worry.
source is
Spike Lee
telling
got
me.
in on time. It's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, I understand they want to increase security. Increasing security so we're wanding Wemby, who like doesn't even have pockets. Like, come on, guys. Like, come on. It's just
you should see some of the soccer stuff. People are outraged already.
Yeah.
They shook down Uzbekistan, bro. Like they were like in cell block D. Like it's on video. Like it's basically like anything short of like an anal search. Like people are like, really? Like this is what we're doing? like this is what we're doing? Like the Netherlands got shook down.
No.
There's a video of Senegal on a tarmac sitting on chairs while customs like like it's gonna be it's gonna be a circus over the next month with the Knicks and the World Cup and everything else that's going on in the world. But countdown to tip off is sort on, but when are we really going to tip this game off? About 8:45 or so?
Yeah,
There's still 18 million people on the court right now. Like we're nowhere near close.
It's a good point, Gabe. I wanted to ask you quickly, and you may not be super into it, which is fine. But the Finals MVP conversation, because coming into it, a lot of people thought if it was the Spurs, it'd be Wemby. If it was the Knicks, it would be Brunson. We had kind of made the point that there were 9 guys, Gabe, who had shorter odds to win the Conn Smythe than Karl Anthony Towns to win Finals MVP. Do you have a take on Cat versus Brunson?
What did you get Cat
25 to 1.
That's awesome because now he's less than 170 right now.
Yeah,
in the range that he's in.
Yeah,
my deal, Kevin, is I still think that it's the body of work. It's not like just a couple of games. It's the face of the franchise. It's the entire playoffs, right? It's not just like the NBA Finals per se.
I mean,
I think still Brunson.
I think guys can be influenced, Gabe, but it is supposed
Brunson's
to
putting
just
numbers
be the
up,
finals.
But he's 19 to 56. Right?
Terrible.
It's not like he's you know what I mean? But the results are there. They're winning. But look, at Brunson's still the favorite. He's still the favorite, right? But Cat's coming on right now. And I like Cat tonight as points and rebounds prop. Yeah. I like his points and rebounds. 29.5 is manageable. I like the Dylan Harper one as well. I think it was 18.5. It's up to 19.5 though, just for the record now, guys. But he's another guy. He's been rebounding very consistently, 7-8 rebounds. Plus, he's going to give you the points as well. I think you'll get the minutes tonight. De'Aaron Fox did respond in game 2, Kevin, offensively.
Yeah, he did.
I thought he would. He was criticized, and he stepped it up in a big way, right? He did. He's got to do it again tonight. Like, they really need everybody to step up tonight.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
like you, though. You can't like everybody over on the Spurs, but I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I like Wemby points over. I like Castle rebounds over. I like Harper points rebounds over. It wouldn't surprise me if Castle finally breaks through and sort of scores 22, 23 tonight for once. But isn't the key tonight? Isn't the key, though, Kevin, and it's sort of your MVP play here, which was a great call before the tournament started, or the series started, is Cat. Is Cat going to deliver tonight? Or is tonight the night that he doesn't really have that game? Wemby just, goes the F off, gets him in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And then his odds slip in a big way, right? So that's and if Cat really steps up again tonight, I think the Knicks win. I kind of see him as kind of like the X factor.
I totally agree. If Cat, it's why I didn't play any Cat props because I'm so Spurs loaded up that if I'm very overs, it almost will work against it a little bit, right? Like the better Cat play, it's very here's the. I know people have said I don't like Brunson. Look, man, Brunson puts up the numbers. Cat is their guy. Okay, Cat is the one who coincides with this win streak. It was the change in play style where Karl Anthony Towns was controlling the tempo and the offense for a lot of these games. Brunson still gets his, but it's those kind of things that have, it's why I bet Cat obviously coming in to the series here. But it's funny, Gabe, just to the point that you made
Cat's
there.
been so impressive on the glass, Kevin, to me. That's what really stands out to me. We're talking
I totally
he's
agree.
got 25 rebounds, guys. He's out-rebounding Victor Wembanyama. Right? He's got 12 and 13 in the series so far.
No small feat, 100%. All right, we're running up against the break here. We'll get all of our picks in one more time. Knicks Spurs, Game 3, NBA Finals.
Talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie. If we hear, if that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get them. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get them, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
In-game live. Game 3, the NBA Finals, the Knicks and the Spurs. We are very, very close to getting after it here. We've gone through our, our picks, our setups, and this is a Spurs game for me. I do think they win this game, and you can see the market moving that way despite the Knicks seemingly having, more of the betting action in this game. I, though, do respect the run the Knicks are on, and I'm not desperate to fade them in their first finals game in Madison Square Garden in, 2 decades and a half. So it is the Spurs team total that I feel most confident with in this one here tonight, Gabe. I've mixed in some Wemby props for the points specifically, and I think Stephon Castle is my guard of choice. I think it's something you and I have really talked about throughout this series, is who's the Spurs guard you trust rotating game to game. I think this is Castle's game here tonight.
He needs to step up. He needs to be better. Let's call it off what it is. Harper has delivered. Wemby hasn't been perfect, but he's carrying the load a lot. De'Aaron Fox stepped up in game 2. Champagne's hit shots for them, right? But Castle needs to be better. Like, that's what made them so good in the regular season. The Castle would just go coast to coast, take it to the rack, and give you 23, give you 25. Mm-hmm. And as you stated, it's not like, it's just not working for him. It's like he's just sort of fighting everything right now. We'll see if things just sort of come easier for him tonight. I like to see him take it to the rack more, Kevin, because he is a good finisher and he is good at drawing fouls, right? Yeah. But he settled for threes a lot and just sort of bad threes because he's open for the sake of it. But it's like, you're kind of open for a reason now, bro. Like, they're leaving you open. Right? They don't think you can hit the shot, and you're not. So stop trying. Right? It's one of these type of deals. Such a big factor. So for me, and I like your team total, I'm going to jump in on this. So I'm going Spurs first quarter. I'm getting half a point right now. So if it's tied, we win the bet. I'm going to go with Harper over 18.5. It's actually up to 19.5 now, points and rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns over 29.5 points and rebounds. Castle over 4.5 rebounds. And I can't resist getting a piece of Wemby at 26.5. Brunson, I'll wait in game. A lot of times, Kevin, Brunson starts slow and his prop comes down to 22.5 or something like that. Like, I'll wait for Brunson. He's kind of a slower starter generally.
Yeah, I actually think we've seen that quite a bit. What's interesting is, Gabe, even in game 2, he had 8 points in like the first, 5 or 6 minutes. And then he had 8 points about 4 minutes until half, right? It was like, where did he go? So, and to your point, Gabe, quickly about the finals MVP, and this is where I understand what's going on with the odds, even though it's going to bother me to no end because Cat has been so much better than Brunson. Brunson is playing poorly and is averaging 25 a game.
That's what I'm saying. And no one looks at the shots. No one looks at the field goal percentage and stuff like that.
I would hope the voters do, Gabe. I would hope,
because I know. I just told you he's 19 of 56 in the series. Right?
Yes, great point, Gabe.
I talked about it in game one. I was like, if you're the Spurs, it's almost frustrating. Yeah. It's like, dude, Brunson was 3 of 13. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, if you're the Spurs, like, it's sort of like whack-a-mole. It's like, we did all this right, but we lost again somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not like the Knicks are overwhelming them. Like, it's just sort of like, just sort of that. And it's youth, inexperience, the right play at the right time matters. The turnovers have hurt them. And then Wemby. I mean, what are you going to do? The Spurs had everything they wanted, Kevin. Brunson misses the shot. Wemby gets the rebound and then passes it off Castle's back.
That was bad. And then
all you do is slow down for a second. They just slow down for a second. And you had the ball. You're either going to score and it goes to overtime. Either way. You know what I'm saying? It was like, why? Like, why rush it? And he just sort of threw it like, it was like, oh, God. Right?
It's just like, how many things can we do wrong?
Yeah.
You know,
and still lose by one only. And lose by one only. And go on a 14-0 run somehow and lose.
By the way,
like,
and I
go this tear of a run.
Gabe, were you shocked that Brunson split the pair of free throws instead of making both?
Yeah, I thought he would make them both.
Yeah. I had someone try to he's like, well, I've watched the Knicks all year. I wasn't as surprised he missed one. I just shut up. You watched the Knicks. He's the clutchest guy in the league. He shoots 85% from the line.
Exactly. I was going to say, never misses that.
Yeah, the kid tried to get in I'm a real Knicks fan, ground floor me. I'm like, hey, shut up. What are you talking about? I'm like, if you watch basketball, that was surprising. Okay? Don't be ridiculous.
Let me throw a player at you, though, before we get to a break here. Because, and it's almost like, well, we can't bet on everybody. But at the same point in time, OG Anunoby. Right? OG Anunoby, guys, been very consistent, Kevin. Back-to-back 17-point games.
Yeah.
OG, guys, has played in the NBA Finals before. He's won a championship before. He's played in big games with the Raptors before. Now he's played in big games with the Knicks. I don't think, out of all these Knicks players tonight, Brunson could struggle again. The Spurs are doing a good job on him. Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, can he keep this up? And the Spurs are going to try to go at him tonight and get him in foul trouble. I kind of trust OG Anunoby. How about 15 or more points for OG, Kevin, when he's already given us back-to-back 17?
Yeah, it's not a bad call at all, Gabe.
It's minus 155 instead of doing the 15.5. So 15 or more.
Yeah. It's also one of those good, we talk about, Gabe, sometimes you get the boosted parlays, and you throw it in as a nice little leg here. The one guy, Gabe, who burned a couple of my parlays the other day, and I don't know if you looked him at all, someone said it to me, and it didn't feel real. Josh Hart has scored 3 points in this series. Couldn't believe it when I heard it. 3 points. 3.
He had the great rebounding game in game 1, but that's it.
15 boards. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's the other thing I think
That's
I'm
what I'm
struggling
saying
with,
with the
Gabe, is
Knicks.
I don't know who's the Knicks guy I really trust. I guess
that's
Brunson,
why I'm saying OG, just to get to 15.
Yeah.
And Bridges, like people, like I don't trust Bridges. I know some people are saying, oh, Bridges tonight. No, I'm not trusting Bridges from an offensive point standpoint.
Yeah.
I talked about Towns. I do trust Towns because I think even if Towns has an average game and gets into foul trouble, he can still get 17, 20 points, 12 boards type thing, 10 boards. Yeah. Right? So I think, 30 is manageable. It's tight. Yeah, it's tight with him, but I do, Kevin, like I said, OG Anunoby. He's that sort of Nick guy that he's going to take it to the rack. He's going to do his thing. He's aggressive. He takes his shots, and we're not asking for a ton here at 15.
No, you're not asking for a ton at all here. Closing numbers, it's going to be not only 1.5 for we're talking minus 118 money line for the Knicks.
This is wild. I can't. People are slamming the Spurs.
They really are. Gabe, you know what? Is this one of those things? Like, are the Spurs favored in the first half, Gabe? No, they're not.
Let's see
first quarter?
They popped up.
Like, did we move the first quarter?
It's plus.
They are, Gabe.
Minus
112 Spurs first quarter, minus 110 Knicks. The Knicks aren't even favored to win the first quarter. Goodness.
They won 13 games in a row. Tickets are going for $20K, and no one wants to touch them. Everyone's like, no, I'm not betting them. I'm not betting them. And even me right now, right before they just did the national anthem. So even right now, Kevin, right before tip-off, I'm like, oh, God, just click the Spurs and get it over with. You know you want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? I've already done it twice. I always have a choice.
Yeah.
I have a choice.
Yeah, I know, Gabe. But we've talked, too, about just this series does have its in-game opportunities, guys. Like, we have seen that. And I think that's the one thing
you're right. Both teams have come back, Kevin. Great point. The Spurs were up by 14 in game one, 13-14. And the Spurs erased a 14, 15-point deficit the other night in like 2 minutes.
Some of the runs that are happening, like, they don't even feel real. Right? Where it's like, oh, look, the game's over.
That Spur one the other day when Wemby just ripped into the bench and they got up and did it, that was like magic. Yeah. If they would have pulled it off, it would have been one of those legendaries. Yeah, it really was.
Then he threw it off Castle's back.
Talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie. If we hear, if that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get them. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get them, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
All right, guys, we're back at the right here on SportsGrid. We're about to get underway for Game 3 of the NBA Finals, which apparently nobody behind the scenes cares about, Gabe. Did you see this? Crew best bets. Baseball. Astros money line, Reds money line, Nats Giants over the 8. Couldn't care less. There's an NBA Finals game on.
Not one of them, huh? I'm not surprised for my boy Sam, but I thought maybe AJ. Is it Koski? Koski's won with the Knicks earlier.
Yeah.
Koski, but no, he passed on this. And I'm also disappointed that all three of you got baseball picks, and not one of them are the Brewers, who look like a good play tonight to me. Milwaukee and Sacramento tonight. Hey, this Kyle Harrison guy, Kevin,
seemed a bit high.
They've won their last 8 games when this guy starts. He's 7-1, but they've won their last 8 games when he starts. And Springs is a gas can.
The 11 is high to me, though, if this guy Harrison's going to play to the back of the baseball card. You know what I mean? So
yeah, actually, I don't know if Oakland, Sacramento are going to hit him, to be honest. Exactly.
They just showed something on this game that said current, average ticket price $7,000. Now, how's that possible? When the lowest I saw going was around $9,000. How's the average $7,000? So I think somebody lied to somebody, quite frankly. I do not think you could get into the building for $4,000. Derek Jeter showed up. All right, that's not too bad. Eli's there. That's fine. So, I get it. But
to me, if I'm the Spurs,
Eli
I like this. There's no real fans in here. It's all celebrities. They're all in the upper bowl.
They'll scream down. It'll bounce off the
I know, but
ceiling,
there's just a lot. Mark Davis, the ref. All right, we're getting ready for tip-off. Finally. All right, so 8:44 Eastern time.
Is for a while, this is when you would expect an NBA game to tip, but they randomly started going early. They were like, no, 8:35. Like, let's get this ball up in the air. And then they just kind of readjusted.
That Knicks starting lineup introduction was the longest introduction of my life. It took 10 minutes.
Very exciting.
Like, seriously, like each guy had like 2 minutes to like bask in the glory. Like, so guy, just start the damn game, guys. All right, let's go. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Wemby will never lose another tip maybe in his life. But, I think Kat, cheated on the tip in game number 1, Gabe, and that's kind of, got us that result. Here we go. Let's get this thing started. We're off and running here. I just realized I was about to, rip into play-by-play, Gabe, which obviously is a big no-no on In-Game Live, but, what else are we... Gabe, now that the game started, should we slip into the rest of the baseball board?
No, I can tell you, though, so... Fox misses a 3. Brunson misses a little jumper after. I would have liked to see the Spurs hit their first shot. Darren Fox is being aggressive here. Fox just was that Fox? No, that was I think it was Fox actually. So Fox just missed another shot actually. So we're still scoreless a minute into this game.
Him to the bench. We'll have to send him to the bench.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that's him.
No, I like the aggression. Like he's not hesitating. That's what I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I
hate people that hesitate.
Scared. I need the Aaron Fox to be good.
Yeah, I know. Wemby sort of came close to turning it over. Oh, here's Fox again. He's not screwing around, Fox. Fox just took it to the rack. Yeah, no, but Wemby with the first basket of the game. Fox took it to the rack and lobbed it to Wemby. 2-0.
As we all expect.
This could be an opportunity to watch this total plummet, Kevin. And I'll tell you what, the Knicks have turned the ball over twice already in the first 60 seconds, 65, right away, 90 seconds, 75 seconds, 2 times in a row here. They've turned it over.
Wow, that's a bad one. All right, so we're off and running. A good time to remind people, by the way, that the in-game live coverage here on SportsGrid will be ramping up for the World Cup on Thursday. We will have our first World Cup in-game live at 3 p.m. for Mexico, South Africa. Between tomorrow and Wednesday, we'll put all of our futures on the board for everyone for the World Cup. I did place my 2 outright futures last night. Again, we'll do those, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I'm not too worried about it or anything, but we'll get to that, Gabe. We'll get to all the different, props that we find for the World Cup as well. Some of the World Cup's night shows will start a little bit later. to adjust for some of the 9 o'clock kicks and what have you. But I am excited, Gabe. That World Cup fever hasn't gone anywhere.
No, I'm extremely excited. I've really dug down very deep into this. We got 12 groups, so there's opportunities for 12 group winners. But a very interesting prop up for the World Cup is exact order of the group, right? Now you can go all out and try to pick the pick four. It's basically like picking a horse race, right? Going to the track, but the exact order of the group. Yeah. Right, like, all right, Brazil to win the group, Morocco to be second. This team first, that team second. That's where some of the value comes up. But teams to make the quarterfinals, you can get some value with that as well. And then you've sort of got your exotic props. But with soccer and the World Cup, what makes it so cool is there really are just like thousands of different ways to bet it, Kevin.
Yep.
Right? I mean, from group play, how far will the teams go? How many goals are they going to score? How many goals are the team in the tournament going to score? They had goals, right? We've got all kinds of cool props like Mbappe and early hauling against Team Canada we're playing. There's like Mbappe and Kane versus Team Mexico total goals in the tournament. So all kinds of just sort of fun props like that. But when it's all said and done, I'm probably going to have about 15, 20 plays on the World Cup.
Yeah, I don't blame you here, Gabe. I'm curious how big I'm going to roll out the pre-tournament action because, obviously we're going to be attacking each and every one of these games, it feels like. I'll tell you one thing that caught my eye, and I'll admit I've not done a world of research on it, but it was, I think, plus 800 for every team to score in the World Cup. Now, I understand that number is what it is for a reason. You got a lot of teams. I think
our boy Marcelino brought that up, didn't he?
I'm not sure. He might have. I have to admit, I'm not sure. But it's one of those things, Gabe, that it does.
I don't think
it's
it happens.
A nice price to be. But Gabe, there's only a few teams you're really worried about, right? Like you know what I mean? Like the Frances, the Belgiums, the Germany, like they don't count towards that. So it's an interesting one. We're going to take a quick
Carousel.
break.
Going to need a penalty kick or something to score.
Cape Verde.
Talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie. If we hear, if that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get them. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get them, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
All right, guys, in-game live, great start for the San Antonio Spurs. 14-6, 4 minutes into this one. Stephon Castle makes it 16-6. I got to tell you, Gabe and I looking pretty wise to have some faith, specifically in Castle entering this basketball game here. We haven't had our first timeout just yet.
Still
Gabe,
early, Kevin.
That's coming soon.
I don't want to mush this because the Knicks just hit a 3 and they can go on runs, but like you said, you got the team total. Nice start for them. Wemby looks great. Just took it to the rack and won. Guys, there's something about the Spurs tonight. They're much looser. They just are. Like, you can see, like, they're actually having fun. Like, they didn't have fun in the first 2 games. They were sort of rushed and uptight, and you can just see it.
They're the underdog again, right, Gabe?
Yeah, Castle's walking around, talking to everyone, like, hey, after the play, Hiro's high, like, Wemby, super aggressive. You're seeing it, Kevin. Every time he gets the ball, there ain't no threes. He's doing like I said. No.
Yeah.
Get out of my way. Well, boom. Like every time he gets the ball, he's just doing that jump, like dunk that he does. Like, boom.
Yeah, he's not interested in shooting threes right now.
No, he's like no, I get it. I'm going to dunk. I'm going to get guys in foul trouble. And he's just sort of, like I said, they're locked in. But the Knicks have been good on, like, coming back and going on runs. So, still early.
Yeah, 100%.
But how about this, 100%. Guys? The Spurs started out 0 for 2. They missed their first 2 shots of the game. They've made their last 8 shots, San Antonio.
Wow. Impressive. Really, really impressive. This has been a really fun start to this basketball game. Gabe, I will say, I hate to disappoint. I don't have anything else other than the game tonight. So the WNBA, you know what I mean? Like,
I know. Big point spread.
I capped the whole baseball board. I didn't like anything. And sometimes it's like, gosh, did I really just waste, that time capping a whole board for no picks? But I didn't like the baseball board tonight, Gabe. I thought
they're real
maybe
games.
under an A's Brewers, but yeah.
They're DGen games. Astros and Angels, like really, all right. Reds, San Diego, Nationals, Giants. Yeah. Giants are so unpredictable. Did play last night in Chicago, so a quick turnaround for them. Going back to the West Coast tonight. Yeah, the one was just Harrison that caught my eye tonight. Brew Crew are just an underrated baseball team. It's a moderate price tonight. Springs really gets lit up often. He hasn't adapted to this ballpark. The Brew Crew's bats were hot in Colorado over the weekend, and this is kind of the same type of park, right? You know what I mean? It's not the same altitude, but it's a minor league park in the desert. The ball travels here. So, and Harrison is tough, so I don't think Oakland's bats are really going to make a ton of contact here. Is it a trap? I always walk into these traps, Kevin, right? Oh, they've won 8 straight when he's on the hill. Right? Like, you know what I mean? I remember there was a famous one like last summer or 2 summers ago. It was on with Cam and I think it was Dave Sharapan. I brought it up. I said, it might have been Bieber. I said, Bieber's like 23 straight wins or something against this team. He's never lost in his career, like the team starting, whatever. Like, everybody knew it in the baseball world. He got lit up that night, right? It's one of those, like, you got to be on these streaks early, but just because no one knows, Kyle Harrison, whatever, on the Brewers. But yeah, Kyle Harrison, the Brewers have won his last 8 starts. So, but they are hot. So give me the Brew Crew tonight at -150. That'll be my one baseball pick. And like you, I saw this, and I'm a big NBA bettor. I bet it over the weekend, and we won, but Tempo got it done against Chicago when I was on him. But
that Sky team fell apart the second Rakia got injured. Like, I don't understand how it's like, it's just so bad. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they have too many injuries, Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, they're really beat up. And I tell you what, like, Kiki Rice is out right now for a little while, but the Tempo were good. 6-5 now, pretty good for an expansion team. They're going to hit that win total. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're cruising along.
And I was on the under, too. Like, and I told you, here's what's, and I read it wrong because the gap between the Tempo and the Fire, I was like, that's crazy. And I said, if the Fire's that low, I'll play Toronto. It's too high. No, what it turned out is Portland was way too low. Portland are like 5 wins away, I think, from their win total.
I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that. So
they've been good.
The gap between those, and Gabe said it to me, like Gabe and I talked about it, like the gap between the Fire and the Tempo isn't as big as they thought. It's just that the gap between those teams and everybody else is not even a thing. Like the Portland Fire are way better than some of these bottom feeders.
Portland Fire went in the Toronto and beat the Tempo, too, this year, just for the record.
Fire, what are they? Half of the Liberty's losses are to the Fire? I'm pretty sure this season. Yeah. Guys, appreciate it as always. Gabriel Morency, Kevin Walsh. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Let's get it.
Game live.
The talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time and he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie.
Yep.
If that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get him. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get him, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
Home of Hakimi, Mahrez, and Salah. The World Cup trailblazers and record breakers. And club sides that dominate the continent. North Africa contains a group of top-tier football nations.